Good morning. Chief Judge Stivers, my fellow judges, Leader McConnell, distinguished guests. I'm honored to be in Kentucky. Today I have the high privilege of administering the oath of office to Justin Walker, and I'm saying a few words about this extraordinary man and judge. At a time of challenge for our country, we gather here today to participate in a judicial investiture and to recall our shared commitment to the Constitution and to the principle of equal justice under law. I've known Justin Walker for a long time. He was a student of mine in the first separation of powers class I taught as an adjunct professor at Harvard Law School a decade and a half ago. I can remember exactly where Justin sat in the old classroom in Austin Hall. Even among the very smart minds in that class, Justin stood out for his sharp intellect, his constant civility, and his love of the Constitution. Justin graduated magna cum laude from Harvard Law School and served as a notes editor on the Harvard Law Review. Put simply, Justin Walker was a standout student and legal superstar at Harvard Law School. I was fortunate that Justin later served as a law clerk for me in 2010 and 11 on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. He was a superb law clerk, an excellent writer and legal thinker, and a wonderful colleague to all. After he clerked for me, Justin clerked for Justice Anthony Kennedy on the Supreme Court. I myself had clerked for Justice Kennedy back in 1993-94. I recommended Justin strongly to Justice Kennedy. So too, the then Dean of Harvard Law School, Elena Kagan, strongly recommended Justin to Justice Kennedy. Elena Kagan knows talent, and as we all know, Justice Kennedy hired Justin. Justice Kennedy could not be here today, but he asked me to read some remarks on his behalf. Before I do so, I want to say a word about Justice Kennedy, for whom both Justin and I clerked. I was appointed to Justice Kennedy's seat on the Supreme Court. It is a humbling experience, an enormous honor and responsibility. Justice Kennedy is a champion of liberty and a champion of civility. He fiercely defends the independence of the judiciary. He is a role model for all judges. At the Supreme Court, the 9 justices have lunch together after every argument and every conference. It's about 60 or 65 lunches a year, just the 9 of us. That's a lot of lunch. And you're not allowed to talk about work at lunch. My colleague Elena Kagan has said to me that my replacement of Justice Kennedy has had an effect on the lunch table. As she puts it, less Shakespeare, more baseball. What can I say? To thine own self be true. In any event, these are Justice Kennedy's eloquent words about Justin, from Justice Kennedy. This is an important day, an uplifting day, Judge Walker, not only for you and your family, but for all of us who are dedicated to the law. You take the oath of office required for officers throughout the federal government. Many of those attending today, like you, have taken the same oath on earlier occasions. This serves to remind us, to teach us, that we must find ways to renew our commitment to the Constitution, so that it finds meaning and purpose, and even reverence in our own time. You also take the judicial oath. It binds the judge to give a full and fair hearing to every litigant, every day, in every case. Suppose a litigant presents an issue you already ruled upon in an earlier case. To be fair to this new litigant, the oath requires you to re-examine, to rethink your reasons for the ruling you are about to make. Consistency and stare decisis are central principles in the law. And the judge has the privilege, indeed the obligation, always to ask, what are the motives, the instincts, the premises, and the reasons that are influencing me? This introspection is one of the fascinating aspects of judging. The judge has the privilege of learning about the judge's own innermost self. Over the course of time, this ensures that the judge's rulings will accord with decency, fairness, the law, and the Constitution. And the judge can enlist the attorneys in the case to help the judge understand what premises should control the case. This process of introspection and then open discussion is not indecision. It is fidelity to your oath. All of us are confident that you, Justin, will be faithful to your oaths. Please know, Judge Walker, that Mary joins me in saying how proud we are that you and your family now make this commitment to preserving and protecting the law and the Constitution so that our heritage of freedom endures now and for generations to come. That concludes Justice Kennedy's eloquent remarks. And I'll pick up, and as Justice Kennedy said so well, in our constitutional system, a federal judge must be independent, keep an open mind in every case, and decide cases based on the facts and the law. Justin Walker understands the role of a federal judge. He reveres the Constitution, and he will work every day to preserve the American rule of law. Just as importantly, he's an exceptionally good and decent person. I'm very proud of Justin Walker, proud to be his colleague in the American judiciary, and proud to be his friend. Now, the oath ceremony we are about to undertake stems from the Constitution itself. Article 6 of the Constitution requires that all officers of the United States take an oath to support the Constitution. In 1789, the first Congress met at Federal Hall in New York City. Congress's first piece of legislation, signed into law by George Washington on June 1, 1789, specified the terms of the constitutional oath. Later in 1789, Congress enacted the Judiciary Act, which was signed into law by President Washington on September 24, 1789. Section 8 of the Judiciary Act specified the terms of the federal judicial oath. Both oaths remain largely the same today, and consistent with the Constitution and our tradition, today I will administer the combined judicial and constitutional oaths to Justin Walker.
You're doing perfect, Isabella. Perfect.
Please repeat after me. I, Justin Walker,
I, Justin Walker,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will administer justice
that I will administer justice
without respect to persons
without respect to persons
and do equal right
and do equal right
to the poor and to the rich,
to the poor and to the rich,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
all the duties
incumbent upon me as United States District Judge
as United States District Judge
for the Western District of Kentucky,
for the Western District of Kentucky,
under the Constitution and laws
of
of the United States,
and
and that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations, Judge Walker.
Thank you, Judge.